Hello and welcome to Deliverable number 6, final presentation for Computer Science 490 D1. First, we're going to demonstrate how our portions of the project show the correct design solution to our software engineering problem. Jamesia will start.
Hello, so I'm going to start off by showing that you are able to register a new patient by registering here. For patient ID, we're going to make up a username. It can be, let's say, Blake. M. Password is password Blake. B. More. Date of birth, 10/15/1987. Blood type, B. Assurance, farm care. And you hit register, and it registered Blake, and we're going to see if the login function is correct by logging back in, and it is. And from there, I'm going to show you another portion that I created was the prescriptions. And you can view all the prescriptions in the pills in the database, and you can search them based on typing in the drug identification number. We're going to go back to home, and I'm going to show you how to view. So view past health history is here. It views everything past health history that a doctor has entered. And view health history, view results, displays all the results and prescriptions that the doctor has given you.
All right, the next part will be Nick's part, which is the doctor contact.
My portion was the email function. We ended up calling it the doctor contact. As you see, as you're logged in, you type in your username.
1 second.
Yeah. 1 second. We were just having a little. So you type in your username. We're still Blake. Patient ID. Select our doctor. We want to see Rachel Porter. And then we type anything. We could type when is the earliest available. Yeah, when's the earliest I could come?
Isn't the username Blake M?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good catch. Yeah, we'll just send this. We could have literally sent anything. We'll hit submit, and now that we've sent that, we're gonna go check that it actually sent to Dr. Rachel Porter. I'm a little lost. Okay. All right, or we'll show that. Yeah. Okay, we're in the database now. Okay, now we're gonna log in as Dr. Rachel Porter, and we're gonna check her messages. And sure enough, she got it. When's the earliest I can come in? And that is the email function. I will now pass this on to Caleb, and he will show his calendar function.
All right, so now we're going to go back to Blake's profile. We will go to the book appointment tab. And then through there, we will book an appointment with a doctor. You can put in the reason for your visit, your height, the date, and all the fun information. And the date will be what date you want to book the appointment for.
The 21st.
After that, you're going to put in your weight and your symptoms. You will then book the appointment, and then you will then go to the View Appointments tab. And as you can see, on the 21st, it says unavailable, so it is booked.
I forgot there's certain days that you can't book, because I already have one booked there.
Okay, there was an appointment already booked there.
We just gotta redo it.
So we just have to redo the date that we book.
do it.
Technical difficulties at the moment.
1 second. What?
Blake M is his username. Again. Yeah.
And there we go. Now you can see our appointment is booked on the 18th, which is a Wednesday. Alrighty. And then the next portion that we're going to show is our GitHub participation. Jamisi's going to go ahead and log into our GitHub, go to our semester project, and she's going to show all the different commits we've done for the whole project.
So here are the commits. You see Caleb's commits, my commits, and if you go back to older posts, you can see Nick's commits.
Alrighty, so those are our commits. The next portion, we're going to demonstrate that our application reads, writes, displays from a database, and also that it operates from a user interface, which you can obviously see through our website. So to display that our application works properly, we were going to go to SQL. We're going to show you that we do not have a patient created, and then we will create a new patient.
Now we're going to go to our MySQL database and type in, 1 second, let me select that. Now we're going to go to patient and type in Michael. And as you can see, Michael was added to the database.
All right, now I will be handing the presentation over to Nick, and he will tell you about our user stories, and then we will present those.
Hello, and welcome to the user stories portion of our presentation. We, as a team, came up with 3 different user stories that we felt would help us determine what DocChart needs to be in order to best serve its intended users. Jamicia will come along with the first user story. I will pass it on to her.
So my user story is, as a doctor, I want to be able to view patients' past medical health history so that I can make sure the recent treatments won't interfere with any past issues. So for that to be done, I am going to, since we're already in Michael Rez's portion, I'm going to go back to MySQL and go to my inserts and insert his into his health history. I'm going to insert that he recovered from COVID into his health history, and I'm going to compile it. And as you can see, it was successful. And so I'm going to go back to here, the patient portal, and go to Michael Rez, refresh the page, and hit display health history. As you can see, it was added, and he recovered from COVID into his database.
And for the second user story, as a patient, I want easy access to communicate with my doctor so that I can receive medical updates for non-emergency advice at any time. The solution to that is the email function. Was my portion, and we're going to show that you can just write it. You could just write an email, and that would solve that user story. And now we'll go on to the third user story, and Caleb will take that one.
All right, so my user story was, as a receptionist, I want an easy way to check currently booked appointments as well as book appointments so that it's easier to keep track of doctors and nurses' daily schedules. We have already displayed this through the calendar function. Receptionists also have accessibility to the calendar function for all doctors and patients, therefore they can easily check throughout the day.
And that is the 3 user stories. I will now pass it back on to Caleb, and he will guide us through the rest of the presentation.
All right, the next thing we're going to display is that our application is designed as part of a team and shows engagement was achieved. This means that we had to match our colors, layout, and flow. We're just going to go through the application real quick and show that all the colors and all the layout goes well together.
Go to the doctor's portion. Okay.
Alrighty, now that portion is done. Now next, I will describe how our team overcame our project constraints. So, our first project constraint was worrying that DocChart will need to expand. In order to curb this constraint, we made our application run off a database which is easily expandable to provide rapid scaling within our project. It also runs off HTML and PHP, which are easily scalable technologies. DocChart will need to secure funding from outside investors to ensure financial stability. So for this, we cut costs for our application, making it a very low-cost application, and therefore we actually didn't need to secure any funding from outside investors. That's how we overcame that constraint. And our last constraint is that we would need to break into what is a niche market, because EMR software is currently a small market. We did this by creating a very intuitive and user-friendly and very pretty user-designed application. It will easily be liked by patients and doctors alike. The next portion of our project is we're going to demonstrate how we used object-oriented concepts. Jamisia will show you an example of that.
Hello, I will show you that by going to my server PHP page. And as you can see at the top, this is the connection to the database that we used. And it has been applied to every page that we have by including it to PHP include server.php.
All right. The next thing we will present is how the project is a benefit to society and how it has national impacts. For that, Nick will be presenting.
DocChart's potential benefit to society would be that even if the efficiency that it creates for a given medical facility is just 1%, if it makes the medical facility 1% more efficient, perhaps maybe that 1% could then be translated into actually treating the patient, and maybe that could be the difference between a patient's ability to stay alive or not. And this would obviously be a local benefit or a national benefit. This really wouldn't be a global benefit unless it became an outstanding thing, and it became widely used by the entire world. But that's a bit of a pipe dream. We will now move on to the ethical dilemmas, and starting with our first ethical dilemma, Jamisia will take the reigns.
Hello. I chose the ethical dilemma of number 7 because I felt like it related to this application because now it deals with collection of customer data, and you know that if this it doesn't have to go globally, but if it is big enough, if we would have a lot of customers' data stored, and for that to be, that means it contain like sensitive data, like your blood type, your blood type, your insurance, and stuff like that. And that can be extremely sensitive to certain people, and they wouldn't want to put that in hands of just anybody. They want to feel secure, and that's one of the most important things that we focus on. And without that, you can lose trust from workers and the patients, and it can create unhealthy work environments. So I feel like we should address that issue by having, like straight up, like when they are coming to office or something like that. If with the company that uses this, we can make them aware that the government does have the right to view your personal information. But if you would like to fight that, we'll give you all the information needed in the center and stuff like that.
And now on to the next ethical dilemma. Caleb will talk
So
about it.
my ethical dilemma was ethical dilemma number 4. How much protection is enough? This has to do with the security within applications. And I said a good solution for that would be to have within our software a solid LDAP authentication protocol, which it does, and that would make it difficult for an attacker to gain unauthorized access into our application.
And our solution to these ethical dilemmas is our password function. The password function essentially protects, obviously not if this was a large scale project, we would need more like encryption, maybe even like we would offload our database into like some cold storage because the patient's privacy is the number one concern. But we feel that the password function that we demonstrated earlier, as you saw, whenever Blake would have to log in, if he didn't. Matter of fact, Jamisi, if you could show that if they type in the wrong password, just as like a means of protection, if you could show Blake typing in the wrong password.
Yeah, so we're gonna log back into Blake. His username is Blake M, and let's say if enter VVV, it would display wrong password. And let's say if Blake's typing too fast and he forgets to enter his password, it would let you know that a password is required.
And this is how we feel. This was a nice short solution to our ethical dilemmas that we came across during DocChart software development lifecycle. And I think that's it. Anybody else got anything else to say?
Nope, that will be concluding our presentation, Deliverable 6. Thank you for listening.